Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Pufferfish667 back with another video, and in today's video I have a little tutorial for you guys on how to become a better or even a top Apex player, because I get this question all the time. You know, someone will be in my chat be like, Puffer, just how did you get so good? How did you get to the level you're at now? And there's a lot of factors that go into this, and there's a lot of factors that go into making a good player, and it's not something I can just explain, you know, straight on the spot. So I thought I'd make a video for you guys because this has been requested for a while, and I will point this out now. A lot of my tips do lead into my other videos. That's not me watching, you know, me wanting you to go watch them so I can get some of that juicy ad revenue, because some of the stuff I'm going to say in this really needs an in-depth like explanation that I just can't do in this video unless I want it to be 40 minutes long, which I really don't, and I don't think anyone does. So if you're not too familiar with some of the stuff I say and I refer you to another video, I'd recommend going and check it out. You know, obviously you don't have to, but it will definitely help. But without further ado, we'll get straight on into the first tip. So the very first thing I wanted to cover is aim, and there's a big misconception that if you want to get better at Apex, you just have to get better aim, and that really isn't the case. Aim is not the most important factor to becoming a better player in Apex. I'll get into what is in the next tips, but aim isn't as important as some people think. Some people really just want to, you know, just get insane aim overnight and they think it'll become a better player, but they won't. And getting aim overnight won't happen, because aiming is a skill. It's something that takes years to develop. If you look at Asus, Shroud, any top player, they have years under their belt of just first person shooters and just shooters in general, which just helps them get insane aim in other games. It carries over. It's not something that you're going to wake up one day with better aim. It's going to take months to make fine and small adjustments. I honestly don't think I have the best aim at times. You know, I don't really pride myself on my aim. I definitely do have decent aim, but I've only got about a year and a half of gaming experience behind Apex. You know, there's people with 10 years, you know, 5 years of gaming, and they have a much better, more consistent aim than me. And it's just something you have to improve by playing the game. I will say in Apex, recoil control definitely does help. Getting recoil control on lock does help with aim. It's the only thing you can really practice, but if you want to get better at tracking people, it's literally all just about practicing playing the game. It's a skill that will develop over years, and I guarantee you the people who aim the best in this game are the people who have the most experience of aiming in other games under their belt. One more thing I will add is a monitor. A lot of people do play on TVs on PS4 and Xbox. That is bad because input delay, you literally can't react fast enough with the input delay to properly track an enemy. So if you really want to up your game and get your aim better, I will recommend buying a gaming monitor. The second thing I wanted to cover is positioning, and positioning is by far the most important factor in becoming a better player in Apex. And a lot of people don't realize this, because when they watch, you know, the top dogs, the big guns, they can see their aim, they can see how many shots they hit, but they can't see, you know, they can't see what they're thinking. They can't go inside their head and see why that person is putting themselves in a certain position, how they're moving around a fight. And it is why a lot of people don't really think positioning is that important, and why people think aim is more important. But trust me, positioning is 10 times more important than aim in this game. I definitely need to make another video going fully in depth on positioning. I'm sorry, but I do have some, you know, just some pointers that you can use and always have in your head while fighting. And the first one is always have high ground. This is a rule of thumb in basically any battle royale game. You get so many advantages from this. You can, you know, be on head glitches where they are running up to you. You can see their whole body. They can only see your head, you know, especially in this game where people have to climb up onto you, onto buildings. They're in that climb up animation where they're really vulnerable. Just always try and get high ground. It's a really easy way to just beam your enemies. Another one is to attack from unexpected angles. This can be hard, especially when footstep audio decides to work in the game, but in the heat of the moment, a lot of the times you can, peek from one angle, peek from a sneaky window, try to find cracks in the buildings just to shoot through, and keep constantly moving around and just shooting from angles where they're really not going to expect it. Using zone to your advantage is another one. A lot of times if the zone's coming in, you may as well just wait there where they're pressured by storm and they literally have to run into your bullets. And this one is easier said than done. Make sure there's never really more than one person shooting at you. A lot of the times to do this, you just have to run around trying to juke one of the enemies, maybe put a bit of damage into one, but you definitely do not want to be in a situation where more than one person is shooting at you. So the third thing I wanted to cover is rotations, and like I said in the intro of this video, this is something where I have another video on it that I really would recommend you guys go check out, purely because I can't explain rotations in a short period. It needs an in-depth analysis, because it isn't as simple from going to point A to B to C. You need to analyze the map, you need to analyze the bus, you need to analyze where people are going, how the ring is going to affect where players go. There's a lot to take in. It sounds daunting, but it definitely is easier when you get the hang of it, and I will put the link for that video in the description. I recommend you go check it out, especially if you're looking to get those high kill games. This will definitely help you rotate around the map faster and find more people. So the fourth thing I have for you guys is to, after every death, take a moment just to realize why you died and what you could have done to prevent that death. I will say, in this game with RNG and just 3 stacks, there will be times where you literally could not have done anything better. You just got unlucky, and that sucks. Time to move on to the next games. But a lot of the times, even for myself, there is gonna be times where you died because your own fault. Just take a second to be like, well, let's say if I didn't do this, if I didn't run through this door where I knew a full team was, if I slowly peeked around the angle and kind of assessed the situation more, would I have died? Should I have just straight up ran from this fight? They had high ground on me, they had gold armor while I only had white. Should I have just flanked around to try get into a better position in zone? A lot of the times it comes down to your own decision making and realizing what you did and how you can improve that for the next fight. It will help. You'll come against a similar situation and you will reflect on the time you were kind of in your same shoes, and you will play it better. It is definitely something I do a lot. A lot of people think this is me making excuses after I die, but it is really something important that you need to do if you want to become a better player. So the final thing I have for you guys is to practice as much as possible. You know what they say, practice makes perfect, and I will say consistency is key here. If you play one day a week for 8 hours, yeah, you do get a lot of time in there, but over that week period, a lot of that muscle memory learned, a lot of the skills you just, had are kind of going to deteriorate. I definitely think that playing, each time, a couple day, a lot will really help. It'll keep that muscle memory on lock. If you play every day, you're gonna, constantly work on that skills, even if it's not for 8 hours, even if it's only for 2 or 1 hour, you're going to keep refining that skills, and you're not just going to completely forget them by the next time you play. Consistency is key. Practice as much as possible, and I promise you will get much better results. So that is basically it. There is not really too much to take in. It might seem like a mouthful at first, but when you really refine these skills that I've been saying, they do just become second habit. Whenever I'm going into a fight, everything I basically, stated in this video, it's in my mind. I do it unconsciously, and that is another thing that makes it a good player. And the reason I do that is because, like I said in that last tip, I practice as much as possible. I'm consistent with my practice. You need to practice as much as you can and be as consistent as possible. But that is it for your boy. I hope you guys did learn something in this video, take something away from it. If you do, or if you just enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications, all that stuff. And that is it from your boy. I'll catch you all in the next one. Weirdos.
30 seconds. Need to recharge my shields.
The weirdo scale is it's off the charts. Oh, you little cheeky Pathfinder.
Good. Only one more squad left. Just 10 seconds.
Uh-oh. These guys are weird. I'm probably going to
Inside the
nowhere.
next ring.
Oh no. Oh no. Yep. I shouldn't have contested. Ah, that sucks. That sucks. He's probably just better than me. Ah, that sucks. They're just better. They're just better. I shouldn't have shot that Wraith. I knew that thingy was coming. They're so much better. They're so much better. They're just so much better than me. So much better than me. They're so much better.